Hello my fellow Whovians and welcome to my latest Doctor Who review, where today I review the 83rd Doctor Who story, which was written by Terry Nation, The Android Invasion, starring Tom Baker and Elizabeth Sladen. So the plot of this story is as follows, reading it off the Doctor Who wiki page. The Fourth Doctor and Sarah find themselves in the English village of Devesham, near a space defence station. The village seems deserted. The telephones don't work, calendars are stuck on the same date, and white-suited figures are wandering about aimlessly. Who are the Kralls, and what are their plans for Earth? So that is your plot of the Android Invasion. Okay, the Android Invasion. Well, obviously it was going to be very difficult to find a story that would follow the Pyramids of Mars, which, in my opinion, is a classic Doctor Who story. I have reviewed that one, so check that out if you want to know my thoughts on that. But I think this is another really good story. Yeah. It's not quite as good. It's not as good as the previous story, but that's okay. The Android Invasion is a great Doctor Who story. This story is just fun. And that's what I love about it. It is just a ton of fun. It doesn't take itself too seriously. It's just genuinely exciting and thrilling. It's pacey. It's a fun romp. You can really appreciate it. And there's a couple of surprise reveals in there as well. So that's always good. I think we'll start where it starts. Tom Baker as the Doctor. He is fantastic in this story. Tom Baker has never given a bad performance, and this is no exception. It's quite nice that in this story he gets to be a bit looser, because in the previous story he was very serious. But not that that was a bad thing. It's important to show both sides of the Doctor when and where possible. So I really like Tom Baker in this story, and I like the fact that he has to take on an android version of himself. So he has to do a lot of acting and you know, pretending to be a robot, which is kind of interesting. So I like that part. And there's a great fight scene between the Doctor and his own android, which I thought was a very exciting scene. Similarly, Elizabeth Sladen as Sarah Jane, I think she's great, and I think she gets a good moment as well to do, especially with her acting when she has to pretend to be an android as well. There's that brilliant reveal at the end of episode 2 where the Doctor knows that it's the android, and he throws her on the ground, and the mask rolls off, and we see the kind of construction of the mechanics of the head, like the eyeballs and the sort of cogworks, should we say, the sort of cognitive structure of the heads, which I think are really, really cool. The androids themselves are actually pretty good. I mean, the idea of them shooting the lasers from their fingers is very similar to the Autons, but it didn't really bother me that much. Obviously, the Autons use their hands, which are slightly different, but I like the androids, and I think they're quite cool villains. I also like the Kralls. I think the Kralls are really well designed, and I love I love the design of them, and I love the design of their spaceship. Sorry, I can't talk, I'm mincing my words. But I love the design of them, and I love the design of their spaceship. And when the Doctor deceives the leader Krall at the very end, I think that's a good moment there as well, when he tricks the leader Krall into thinking that he is shot, but obviously that was the android version of the Doctor, which was interesting. This story keeps going. It's very pacey, and I like that, and I like the fact that it's a ton of fun to watch, and I never got bored watching this story. And the script by Terry Nation, I think, is pretty good, and he keeps things moving. It's suspenseful, and I like the kind of idea that they don't really know where they are. The fact that this could be Earth, but it's probably not Earth, when you've got literally no one but androids running around. It's a very, mysterious story in that regard. Like, we don't really know where it's set. Obviously Devesham is the place, but whether it's actually Earth or whether it's like a parallel world, I mean, that's kind of interesting, you know. The surprise reveals of the story, of course, are Benton. John Benton, played by I think it's Ian Levine. Shit. I'm gonna have to cut some of this out. John Levine as Benton in his final story. Yeah, this is Benton's last story that we're going to see him in, which is very sad. But no, it's a shame to see him go. But I do like his performance here, although he's not in it that much. But when he is there, he's pretty good. And you know, obviously, the fact is, Tom Baker's era of the show is very different to John Pertwee's. The fact that John Pertwee was more involved with Unit, whereas Tom Baker's not so much. He's going about traveling and going all over the place. So Unit don't really feature as much in the Tom Baker era, so there was no need for him, really. And very sadly, John Levine gave up acting after Doctor Who, which was a real shame. But never mind. It is what it is, and I think he gives a good, solid final performance. And I think it's been a great joy to watch him over the course of his time in the show. So, good luck, John, and you know, well done. Thank you very much for your contribution to the show. We have some other surprises in that Harry Sullivan returns as well for a cameo. Obviously, Harry Sullivan left the show in Terror of the Zygons. However, Ian Marter has been brought back for a cameo. Harry Sullivan is in this story. Very briefly, I'm not quite sure why he's in the story, but he seems to be either working with Unit or he's working for the Navy or something. I mean, he dresses like a naval officer in this story, but he has to also play the android version of himself, which is good. Again, he's not in it much, but again, nice to see him back for one more time, even if it is an indulgent cameo. But no, yeah, thank you, Ian Marter, for coming back as Harry. That was nice. That was very nice. Guy Crawford, who's another character. He's the guy who wears the eye patch, who the Doctor talks to at the beginning. He's a pretty good character. I mean, he's kind of caught up with the Kralls. He's working for them, and he's at times a bit weary of them. He doesn't always trust them, which is kind of interesting to see. And Stigeron, I don't know how you pronounce that name. I hope that's how you do it. Stigeron, played by Martin Friend. He's the leader of the Kralls, and you know, he's quite good actually. The only thing I'll say, my one criticism of this story is the lip movements of the Kralls. I think are a little bit poor. You know, when characters speak, their mouths don't, but the animatronics don't really work as well as they should. Kind of like in the Phantom Menace with the Viceroy and those people there on the Trade Federation. Their mouth movements aren't so good, and unfortunately this is one of those times. But the actual prosthetics are good, and the characters look scary and look threatening, but it's just the lip movements are a bit off, which is a shame for me. I also thought there could have been a bit more music in the story. Perhaps there could have been a bit more of a soundtrack going on, but the music that is there is good, and the lighting effects of this story are quite good. Like when the Doctor and anyone else is cloned to be an android, there's a lot of great lighting effects and Wizzo things going on. I mean, it's not to the extent of Pyramids of Mars, but you know, a nice display of visual lighting, just to say the least, to make it look like the Doctor and everyone is undergoing some kind of transformation or cloning procedure. But it looks cool and it looks good. Again, this is just a story that is just a ton of fun. The only time you'll ever see Tom Baker use a gun, you know, as the Doctor, when he's an android. Not the real Doctor, of course, but, you know, still. And it's nice to have those couple of other characters to come back. And yeah, I mean, this is a very, very good, very entertaining story. It is what you want Doctor Who to be. It is fun. My complaints about the story are only minor. I also love the scene when the Doctor is going into the bar. He goes to the pub and he goes and asks for ginger pop, otherwise known as ginger beer or ginger ale as they call it. But it's non-alcoholic, but it's it's a nice little moment there. There's a funny scene there, and the Doctor's asking the bartender all these questions, and he's trying to understand. And obviously, the bartender is an android, but it's a good scene. It's a really good scene. And obviously the guys in the white suits are kind of good. The white suits are interesting. Although we don't see the white suits a huge amount of the time, but they're still good. You know, it's still nice to see them. And obviously the story was directed by Barry Letts, who of course was the producer of the show back when John Pertwee was around. So they offered him the chance to come back and direct, and he did, because he directed Pertwee's final story, which was Planet of Spiders, and then he did the next story, Robot, and then that was it. He left. But no, it's nice that they asked him to come back and do this one more time. But this really is Barry Letts' last ever association with the show. No more. Finished. Finito. Done. After this. But yeah, I think his direction is very good for the story. You can tell he's very experienced with directing, and he keeps the story moving. It's tight. It's short. It's 4 parts long, but it's brisk enough. I also quite like the rocket scene as well, when Sarah and the Doctor are about to try and get into the rocket, and the Doctor doesn't quite make it. But no, that's a good, intense sequence. And obviously, Philip Hinchcliffe is the producer, and he does a great job of bringing this all together. So, to bring it all together, I'm going to close off by giving this story a 9 out of 10. Yeah, I can't give it a perfect 10 just because of my minor quibbles. The sort of bad mouth prosthetics aren't very good. I don't mean bad mouth as in like swearing. I mean bad mouth as in the mouths move pretty badly. You know, I mean it literally. And it was nice to have those 2 characters, Harry and Benton, come back for a cameo, really. But yeah, this is their last ever time with the show, which is a shame. But it's nice to see them back, so very nice. And another great Tom Baker story. What can I say? Okay, so next time on Doctor Who Review, we are on the brain of Morbius. Yay! So we're getting closer to the end, and it's the penultimate story in this season. And then after that, we're on to the Seeds of Doom, which is the finale of Tom Baker's 2nd season. And then we have 5 seasons left of Tom Baker. He is the longest-serving Doctor, after all, so we may as well sit back and enjoy the ride. Okay, so next time on Doctor Who Review is the brain of Morbius. So thank you very much all for watching, and until next time, I'm Mr. TARDIS 11. See ya.